Imagine you're outside your house in the middle of the day. The sky is clear, there's no storm, no rain, nothing. And then something falls out of the sky and lands near you. At first, you probably have no idea what you're looking at until you get closer and you notice these little pieces falling around you that look like raw flesh. Well, in 1876, a woman in Kentucky claimed that's exactly what happened, and somehow the story only gets weirder from there. Welcome back to Macabre Mondays, where mystery meets the macabre with your favorite Deadly Mary duo. I'm Ale.
And I'm Tom.
Your guides through the strange, the sinister, and the spooky.
I forgot.
Oh, it's okay.
Spooky.
That's a little, spice that you added to it. That's about it, though.
Hey, yo, mommy.
Hey, spooky.
You like the spooky?
You like a spooky? Oh, God. Okay. Well, this episode is a strange one.
Woohoo!
I know. Tom was like, the last couple episodes have been really heavy. And he's like,
Look, I have
no, and I agree, though. It's
that I meet with almost on a daily basis
at your job. Yeah.
at my job. And I know that some of them, they can't do all the sinister just like me.
Just all the time. Yeah,
the difference
I
is
agree.
they can choose to take a break. I don't get to choose to take a break.
Yeah, you don't get a break. Yeah, it's very true. It's very true. It's very true. So today we're starting off with a strange episode. And I have a question for you, Tom. And also a question. I'm going to start this episode off with a question. Okay, now everybody please answer.
Do ask.
I love it when you guys play along. Tom, what would you do? What would you do if you looked up, you're outside and you looked up at the sky, right?
Okay.
You're like, da 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 da. And pieces of raw meat start falling out
What
of the sky.
Fuck? What are we covering today?
You said the episodes have been too heavy.
I know, now it sounds like some cloudy with a chance of meatballs type shit.
Well, it's not cloudy. It's actually clear skies. So what do you do?
What do I do?
What would you do? What would everybody do? Please answer in the comments.
Give you guys a second. Type your comment.
Ding, dun, ding,
I'm waiting.
Dun, ding, dun, ding,
No, I'm dead ass. Like,
dun,
please write your comment.
Dun, dun,
Anyways, what I would do, honestly, I think I would try to get cover because I'd be like, what the fuck is happening right now? Like, why is there meat coming down?
From the sky?
From the sky.
It's giving Chicken Little,
Wait,
the world is
actually,
ending.
hold on. Correction. I have a clarifying question.
No, you can't because we're going to start going. You can ask me the question, but I'm not going to answer it.
Is the meat perfectly sliced? Like, I'm talking already went through a butcher shop.
Tom's like about to turn on the grill. He's about to turn on the smoker.
That's exactly what I was thinking. I was like, I mean, if it's already chopped up, let me catch a brisket onto the smoker.
Oh, you're like, let me get the cast iron pan. Let me get the cast iron pan.
Let me grab a tomahawk.
That is so funny. That is so funny. No. Well, I'm not answering your question, of course, and I can't wait to hear what everybody else would say, because the reason why I'm asking this question is because apparently that exact thing actually happened.
What?
In 1876 in Kentucky.
1870s? Of course it happened back then. Y'all didn't have any cameras, no proof.
You're going to love this story.
Let's get into it.
And I also am curious if my Millie has ever heard of this story before, because she's a fellow Kentuckian.
Well, whereabouts in Kentucky?
Let's go back to March 3rd of 1876.
All right.
We're in Bath County, Kentucky.
Bath County?
It's a small county east of Lexington, I saw.
Oh, okay. Then my mom might know of it.
She might know. She knows a lot of people.
Babe,
she
we
knows a lot
lived
of
in
Kentucky.
Lexington at one point.
That's true. That's also very true. It's also near a small community called Olympia Springs. Now, Alan Crouch lived there with his wife, Rebecca, on their family farm. And sometime that morning, mind you, we're in 1876. Rebecca is outside on her porch. She's outside making soap.
Okay.
Okay? Typical. 1876. I guess typical behavior for
I guess. They just
Making
be
soap.
out there making jabón.
Yeah. Jabón.
I know. I've been learning some new Spanish words.
You're so funny. And a part of me was also like, because I read another article and it said soup. But I'm also like, soup and soap are very close. So
The translation, her writing wasn't perfect.
yeah, I
They're
know.
like,
I don't know
she was
what's
just making
happening.
soap out there.
Yeah, but she was making soap. That's what I know of. Okay. Otherwise, it's a completely normal day. Why are you laughing?
I'm picturing this poor lady just out in her yard, just
I may make soap today.
whittling some soap bars down. Oh god.
Rebecca Crouch is just doing the best work she can, okay? Otherwise, this is a really completely normal day, okay? The weather was reported to be great, clear skies. There wasn't a storm rolling in, nothing, okay? It's literally like, I can see clearly now.
So no
the
mad
rain
scientist
has
with like a magic
gone.
machine and a monkey.
I don't know yet. I haven't told you the story.
Okay,
Anything
you're
can
right.
happen at this
You're
point, right? I
All right.
literally started it with saying this happened in 1990.
You're right.
Meat fell from the sky.
You did preface that.
All right. So sometime between 11 in the morning and noon, Rebecca noticed something falling near her. Then another piece, and then another piece. She looked around and realized this stuff wasn't just falling in one spot. It was coming down all around her. Okay, scattered across the ground. It's landing all over the property. Homegirl lives on a farm. All right. Now, if anybody's ever been to Kentucky, oh God, the accent's coming out. Jesus Christ.
Gosh.
It's so bad. It's so bad to my Kentucky
my
family.
Cousin, I was going to say,
love
my
you
cousin
guys.
Jenny is going to be so disappointed in you.
No, she won't. She loves it when I do it. She tags along. So imagine this. It's a farm, okay? And pieces are falling one after another, okay? Whatever it was looked exactly like pieces of raw meat. Now, according to Rebecca, she even said at the time, it was basically snowing meat. There's like meat everywhere.
Oh, God.
Instead of it raining dogs and cats, it's snowing meat. Okay.
Pretty sure it's cats, then the dogs. Not
Dogs will always be first for me. I don't care.
Okay.
I love a cat, but I love me a dog. Okay.
All right. So it's raining.
So it's snowing meat.
Meat and meat.
Except, like I said, there wasn't a cloud in the sky. Interesting. So the pieces kept falling for a couple minutes, and they weren't all tiny. Most were described as being around like 2 inches wide, to some were even much larger.
Oh my gosh.
Now, I saw an article that there was a meat the size of her palm, like her whole hand. So, how many inches is that?
That's like a filet mignon.
Like a filet mignon. Imagine that. Falling from the sky.
I mean,
And you're making soap in 1876.
I'm going to be stopped making soap. I'm going to be grabbing the grill.
I know you are. So they're not all tiny, which to me, that's insane, right? One piece was reportedly 4 inches long, and they landed across the whole, like across all the ground around the yard. It even caught onto fences.
How long did this go on for?
A few minutes. Okay. It was so much meat that it could fill a horse's wagon, I read.
Okay.
Okay, I know specifically
I
what
was
kind of
gonna
horse
say,
wagon.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I'm thinking like young Washington type wagons.
That's what I'm thinking too, because it's 1876.
Now I'm assuming
yeah.
that's it.
Well, okay, so the report said that the meat was scattered across the area. This is probably how much it'll give you horse wagon size wise. I don't fucking know the math, but it was reported that it scattered across the area roughly 100 yards long and 50 yards wide. So we're talking football field.
Jesus.
So to me, I'm like, horse's wagon. I'm giving young Washington horse's wagon. But I don't know. I could be wrong, right? So imagine that happening. That's already a pretty large section of the property, as you can imagine. And the pieces didn't all look exactly the same either, which is what was really strange about it. Some of it looked fatty. Some of it looked more like muscle. Some of it was darker. Some of it was lighter. Basically, it looked like pieces from different parts of different animals that somehow dropped all over this farm.
All right. Follow-up question.
Follow-up question.
Are there any known military testing sites near this area?
No.
Okay, never mind.
Now, the strangest part, as you can imagine, this is already pretty strange, but one of the strangest part was that Rebecca couldn't see where any of it was coming from, because there was nothing in the sky that she could see in that moment that was giving her an answer. Like, this is just, it is just meat falling from the sky. Like, imagine that. I'd be like, oh, the fuck? What? I don't even know.
I'm sorry. Pause.
What?
Why?
Wait, hold on.
Where?
Where? I'm going to need to take a photo of this.
Random ass fat ass meatball just
fat-ass
smacks you in the
meatball.
face.
Okay, so as you can imagine, this is already happening, right? When this happened and the word started spreading about the meat falling out of the sky, Oh my God. People wanted to come see it for themselves. They were like, are you
I
kidding
would
me?
too.
Yeah, I would too. I would feel like even in this day and age, this is 1876.
We didn't have TV back then. I'd be telling the whole family, get the f in the car. We
Get in the
driving.
horse's wagon
Get
and
in the
we're going to
wagon.
Bath County. What was I going to say? Yeah, but imagine this is 1876. If that was in the headlines today at 2026, oh my God, that would still be an insane headline. Like that would be...
It would definitely make like the Today Show,
Hell
everything.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. So as you can imagine, 1876, this is happening. It's like we don't even have half the technology right now that they did. Nowhere near. They didn't even have
Yeah.
technology. Like
there was
it
no meteorologist to
No,
tell
there wasn't,
them, hey,
exactly.
there's going to be a meat storm.
So that's forecast for today, Thursday. It's looking like it's going to rain meat, everybody. Actually,
Oh,
so
God.
be prepared. Bring out your buckets
It
and
makes me think of the weatherman.
from
His
Family
video
Guy.
Went, no,
Oh no.
his video went viral because somebody accidentally typed in 2 different cities in Texas, but put both their temperatures together on one city.
Oh, I
so it
didn't
looked
see
like
that.
it was 101,000 degrees.
Oh my
And he was
God,
like,
that's bad.
So we got 109 here, 110 here, and everybody in this county is dead. It is 100,000 degrees. Everyone is dead. The town is gone.
100 in Terrell. Right now in Terrell and in Dallas, your heat index is 107. Everyone in McKinney is dead. The temperature, the heat index right now in McKinney is 10,000. What is that? 101,105. It's hot in McKinney. Jesse Hawila, I thought he was on paternity leave. He's sabotaging me again. 105 in Corsicana. The heat index in Meridian is 110. So we'll fix that. Probably the heat index in McKinney is about 105.
Exactly. So imagine that. People are coming from everywhere, all around, okay? One of those people was named Harrison Gill. Now, Harrison Gill went out to the property and said that he could still see pieces of meat scattered across the ground and stuck along the fences. Now,
That's wild.
according to the reports, when the meat had first fallen, it looked fresh. But by the next day, as you can imagine, after sitting outside overnight, it had already started drying out and going bad.
I was just going to say, was anyone actually surprised at this? Or
Well, remember, they don't know what it is. They're just assuming it's meat.
you know what's odd? This meat went bad after being out all day in the weather.
Well, they're not sure.
Would you look at that?
They're like, get Bobby. Tell him to come here with the horse's wagon. I can't let go of the
You
horse
know,
wagon.
like, I don't get surprised if I accidentally leave ground beef out to thaw out, and then all of a sudden, a few hours later, I'm like, shit, I left that out. Oh, well, it's all brown.
Well, yeah. So, okay, so that's a good point. Imagine that and being outside. Ew.
Yeah,
Ew. And
it
you can
probably
imagine
smells
it's,
rank.
and it stunk rank. Like it was rank
Damn.
stinking. Yeah, it was really bad. That's what they know reported, like in the reports.
That's all that was written.
Yes,
Rank.
stank. So, even though this is already this meat, because they don't know it's meat, they're just assuming because it looks like raw meat. Now, there were 2 men who were brave enough to actually taste it. Okay,
You guys got some.
real balls.
Yeah.
No, that has steel. Okay,
They
1876
said, look,
balls of steel.
They said, we work in a coal mine. We might not live that many more years, so fuck
You know, like they didn't have technology, but they was not fucking around. They was not fucking around. So 2 of them were brave enough to come and give it a try. And just like that, looking at this unidentified meat that like has fallen miraculously out of the sky, now they're like, salt, pepper.
it. Let's season.
But according to them, it tasted like either mutton or venison.
The hell is mutton?
Now, I asked myself the dang tootin' same question, okay? Mutton is a lamb that is about 1 to 3 years old. And if you didn't know, the venison is from the deer family.
Oh, I knew that.
I didn't.
You didn't know that?
I thought reindeer was its own deer.
Right?
I thought...
Oh, honey.
No, I know. They're like that. They're the caribous, right?
Reindeer isn't it?
It's a
That's not-
caribou.
Yeah.
And then they got like your
Yeah.
regular deer. They got deer
And then
park.
they got Rudolph and.
No, Rudolph is part of the reindeer deer family.
Mhm.
Anyways, I learned about mutton and venison, okay? Which, first of all, I don't know why we're eating this like mystery meat because like, ugh. But I'm kind of glad somebody did because I mean, I wouldn't have, but I'm glad somebody did because now we know. You know what I mean? Now we know. My other question would be do they taste the same?
No.
Oh, very drastically different.
Lamb.
No, don't tell me. Oh, okay.
Oh,
Okay.
it's
I
not
thought you
gonna
were
make
gonna
it bad.
tell me
No.
like.
I was gonna say lamb tastes a little bit more gamey, if that makes sense. And venison, it depends. Venison to me, if it's seasoned right, it tastes.
Well, this
damn
is
good.
coming out of the sky.
Well, obviously,
It's not seasoned, so it probably didn't taste that great.
I'm just saying, even
Imagine
if
a twist of the story. I say it was
even
seasoned.
unseasoned, you should be able to tell a difference.
Okay, gotcha. All right, so that makes sense. So after the meat shower happened, people started actually examining. I know. I'm just gonna call it. It's actually called the Kentucky meat rain, like meat shower. Yeah. So people started actually examining the samples of this mystery meat, and they were trying to figure out what kind of meat it was because a whole other problem to this actually ends up becoming a whole nother problem to the story. This story, as you can imagine, doesn't just stay in Bath County for very long. Word spreading, people are coming from all over. It's everywhere because once people started hearing about it, the newspapers at the time also started picking it up. Now, originally I was like 1876 newspapers. I thought we still had the town crier. Now I should probably give, I know.
extra.
They'll read all about it. Well, I was thinking the town.
falling from the sky in Bath County.
How cute would it be though? That's so cute. I can't. It's so cute. No, but imagine I just town crier and they're like, yee.
Oh, you went way back. Damn. I'm like in the 20s and early 1900s, late 1800s.
No,
and you
I'm
said,
in 1776.
Baby, heary? That's not 1776.
I don't know. What's that?
You're going to like the Roman.
No way.
Nah, you're going back.
No
baby.
way. Okay, we'll leave that up for discussion. Someone's in the comments. Let us know what era what era that is from. Okay. So anyway, so the newspaper started picking it up, and one of those newspaper was the New York Times.
Damn, I'll be honest, I didn't know the New York Times had been around that long.
That was my genuine thought in that moment. I was like, wait a minute.
What year did the Rockefellers start building stuff? So the Rockefellers actually started leasing land from Columbia University in 1928. Demolition and construction didn't actually begin until 1930. Oh, wait.
Oh, so so the New York Times was founded in 1851, and it was also originally named the New York Daily Times before they shortened it to what we know today as the New York Times. So by the time Kentucky had its meat shower, the New York Times had already been around for like 25 years.
Damn.
Which I was just kind of shocked by that. Yeah, because I didn't think that the New York Times was around that long.
Wait, that means they were back in the you know the videos, the guys putting the ink on the little thing and the roller goes up
like
and
rolling
down,
it. I wonder.
And then it stamps it on the paper.
I wonder.
It was probably like that. Manual.
Real manual. So anyways, on March 10th, exactly 1 week after the meat shower, the New York Times published an actual story with the headline, "Flesh Descending in a Shower," which is an incredible headline if you think about it. The flesh descending in a shower. Come on. That's just like, read all about it. Meat falling from the sky. Okay. So suddenly this isn't just some bizarre story anymore being passed around Bath County. People across the country were reading about a woman in Kentucky who said chunks of fresh meat had falling around from a cloudless sky. Okay. Because remember, no
Nothing.
cloud in the sky. And the more attention the story got, the more people wanted an actual answer. Was it really meat? Was it from an animal? Was it from the sky? Like, most importantly, where the hell did it come from?
Yeah.
So some samples of the sky meat started making their way into the hands of people who could actually examine them. And that's when the story gets even stranger. After people started examining these samples, one of the first explanations was that maybe everyone had this completely wrong. Okay, maybe it wasn't meat at all. A man named Leopold Brandes, who wrote about sanitation and water quality, he actually examined a preserved sample of this and suggested that maybe it wasn't meat. It was actually nostoc.
What the hell is Gnostic?
Nostoc. Yeah, nostoc. Okay, so that's what I was reading too because I didn't know what nostoc was. And it's a type of cyanobacteria that can form these weird jelly-like blobs on the ground, okay? And because it can subtly swell up after getting wet, people historically thought at this time that this stuff literally probably fell from the sky. So that's like a theory. Remember, these are theories also from 1876, okay? So for a minute, some people were like, okay, yeah, maybe, but like, no. We just gotta there's gotta be more to it. Somebody's, all this stuff.
That many instances of that rare instance of biological shit
that out of nowhere. Well, yeah, it covers like a whole football field. I know.
Also, she claims that it was falling from the sky.
I know. Well, maybe from what happened, okay? Rebecca actually saw maybe a weird natural substance people mistaken for flesh, because remember, after the day, like nobody was, everyone who's getting these samples, it's not like they're getting fresh samples. No. They're getting days old samples.
Imagine she's like, come back in 5 minutes. It should start up again. You can get a fresh one.
Yeah, you're good. They're letting me know. I'm in touch with them up in the sky. I don't know what's going on. So even though one of the theories was Gnostic, another scientist started putting some samples under their microscope, and they said it was meat, like actual animal tissue. Several different samples were examined, and researchers identified lung tissue, muscle tissue, cartilage, and connective tissue. That's a lot of tissue, different tissues, okay? One scientist, Arthur Mead Edwards, eventually compared the samples that had been sent to different researchers, and he kept finding the same thing over and over and over again. He said animal tissue. So now we've got one question after that.
What kind of animal?
What kind of animal rained meat all over Rebecca Crouch's farm?
And why?
And why? That's the other real question, too, because this is such a strange occurrence that I don't... When I started reading about it, I was like, huh? What do you mean a meat shower? Like a literal meat shower. There's no... It's raining dogs and cats, like, no. Oh, Tom's got his thinking hat on.
No, because my mind's racing. I'm like, well, I mean, explosive at that time would have probably been strong enough to make meat go that high.
Also cover that wide range and without everybody hearing about it.
To this day, that I know of, we don't transport cattle or anything by plane, let alone with the tech that they had at that time. There's no reason that a cow or animal in general should be way up in the air. So what's going on?
Okay.
Can you tell us?
Well, the scientists now had a bigger problem. Nobody could agree on what animal it came from. So different people suggested everything from sheep to deer to horse to beef. And then one examination came back with a particularly horrifying possibility. Okay, 2 doctors, Alan McLean Hamilton and J.W.S. Arnold, examined one of the samples and determined that it appeared to be lung tissue, okay? Which specifically, they said it could have come from either a horse or a human infant.
What?
Which that sounds insane. I know.
Okay, keep going.
But before we start imagining babies falling out of the sky, because that's definitely not...
That's kind of where my mind went.
I know. That's not what they were saying. They were basically just saying that apparently under a microscope, the structure of lung tissue from a horse and a human infant could look very similar.
Okay, that's in itself crazy.
So that's why they're like, maybe. But again, this is such a rare... This is like a phenomenon. You know what I mean? Such a strange phenomenon that they're all trying to understand and figure out what it means, where it's coming from. And so, like, they don't have all the information that we have today, all the years of studies that we have now in 2026. So imagine that in 1876. Like, I'd be like, what? So they couldn't confidently tell which one they were looking at. And that was the big problem with all these type of examinations, because they could identify things like the muscle, the cartilage, and the lung, but determining exactly what animal that those tissues came from was becoming a much harder feat at the time. So these pieces could possibly be more than one part of an animal from what we're gathering, okay? Still, there's no explanation, no like solid explanation for how any of it fell from the sky in the first place, which leads us into theories.
Oh, so we're already getting to theories. Like we don't have a concrete explanation of this yet?
Yes and no. Yes and no.
Well, come along with me for the ride, folks.
And I want to know what you guys are thinking. So over the years since 1876, people came up with a few theories, okay? One of them is maybe some kind of strong wind picked up animal remains somewhere else and dropped them over the Crouches' farm. But there's still a problem with this
I'm
theory
sorry.
because it sounds like whose freaking theory was that?
How did we have a tornado? Did this poor lady not go inside during her soap making to avoid a tornado on a cloudless sky?
That's what I'm saying. So that theory kind of debunks itself because Rebecca said there was nothing in the sky. The weather wasn't changing. Everything was fine. It just started raining meat. Right? Then it was the theory of the Gnostic. Don't think that's it either.
No,
okay.
I'm looking at this right now. I'm like, if somebody ever thought that was meat, I mean,
right. Well,
have you ever looked at a piece of meat?
But also remember, the meat is probably not raw and fresh like you get
you're
it. So
right,
it
right.
does. It would probably shrivel up in the sun and and all that shit. But still, one of the theories was Gnostic. But since the samples were examined under the microscope and they could see actual like tissue, that's where they're like, this theory's probably not it. Okay. The third theory could be that this is just somebody who threw animal remains around the property and the whole story was exaggerated. So one of the theories is that it is a hoax. Okay. But there was never any solid evidence proving that.
I was going to say, what did Rebecca have to gain from this?
That's what I'm saying.
Did she randomly start selling more soaps because people were coming to visit?
I love that you're just assuming Rebecca was making soap to sell it. I mean, she could have been, though. She
you
could have
don't
been.
know.
Yeah, it's true. I don't know. I just find it so funny. I didn't think about that. Right, but that's a great point. So that's why that's
hell
one
of a marketing tactic for back in this time.
No, true that. If they had the Times Square up and running back then, shit, she'd be all over that. She'd be all over that. So that's one of the theories, a hoax. Now, another theory is that some people actually believe the meat shower could have been a message or a sign from God. They were thinking that it must have been something religious or supernatural, letting them know that it's supposed to be a positive sign. Like the theory is that it wasn't a negative thing that happened, like an omen or so. Oh my God, like if they say you see crows, somebody's going to die.
I'll be honest, I would struggle to see that as a positive sign.
I don't know what kind of sign it would be. I know I'm not entirely sure what kind of sign that would be, but some people saw it that way because of the phenomenon, like how fascinating it was that happened. Like that's something that you would read in books, movies,
I would start thinking witches.
Witches. That's a good one. Yeah, I didn't think about that. This other theory is that it was basically a joke. They were saying that a New York Times writer sarcastically suggested that maybe there was some kind of huge selection of meat floating through space and Earth had passed through it, which sounds completely ridiculous. But again, I don't want to, anything is open up for interpretation. So really anything could happen. Okay.
Wow. What a good joke.
But which I will say, people till this day, there are some people that think that it is alien meat. Like it's something like from another planet and we don't know anything about it. Which it could be.
If you guys had stormed Area 51 the way you all said you were, maybe
we would have
had
known.
answers.
My goodness. That's how they're getting rid of alien meat. Oh my God, a new conspiracy has entered the chat. Are you kidding me? That's crazy. Okay, so then there was this one you're going to crack up about, okay? So there's this whirlwind knife fight theory.
I'm sorry. Are we talking like Star Wars knife fight?
So the whirlwind theory was another bizarre theory and story suggested that two men had gotten into a knife fight, were picked up by a whirlwind, and basically torn apart in the air. There's absolutely no evidence that happened, obviously, but apparently 1876 is pretty kooky with their theories too. Okay. So they're thinking that theory is that there's probably, those are all men on.
This sounds like some fucking Courage the Cowardly Dog type shit. You just see two guys with the cow going through the freaking the funnel cloud, and they're just trying to fight each other with the knife, cutting each other up.
You know what's funny? When I read that theory, I was like, wait, what is a whirlwind? I didn't know that it was like weather term.
It's a Lainey Wilson tour.
No, deadass is what I was thinking. No, but I even thought, I'm like, I always heard a whirlwind like in romance. Like, oh, they had such a whirlwind love or romance or something, right? And I didn't really know it was related to weather. And so I'm like, oh, I go and Google, what the fuck is a whirlwind? Mm-hmm. And fun fact, guys, I actually found a website that I didn't even know about this, okay? It's actually a forecast weather glossary. So it's literally called forecast.weather.gov/glossary.
That's cool.
And it's like a forecast dictionary pretty much. So whatever words they use for the weather, you could put the word, you could put the letter, and boom,
boom, baby.
they be coming up. Okay. And they give you a little explanation. I loved it so much. I'm going to start using it now for my weather conversation that I'm going to be having plenty of, I guess.
No.
Hey, the weather was, clouds were a little bit cumulus, huh?
Wow. Okay.
Hey, I knew that before the glossary
correction.
one.
I forget. You
I
listen.
stare at clouds every day.
Oh,
all
I was
day.
going to say Neil deGrasse.
I do listen to Neil deGrasse Tyson, guys. I would
So,
love to.
Mr. deGrasse, I still don't hold it against you that you ruined Pluto for me as a child.
Oh,
But-
it's okay though.
But if you want to come on the episodes,
Oh my god,
my wife would be honored.
I don't even think I'd be able
If
to say
anyone
anything.
knows how to connect him to us, definitely do that.
I don't even know what I would say. I'd be like,
He would
Science.
come in to like one of the episodes, like a sinister case, and be like, so the astrophysics of this would actually be around this.
oh god, I just love learning from him. He's really cool. Okay, back to it. So that explanation is
Mhm.
kind of ridiculous. Highly doubt
Clearly.
that that's it. Okay, so how are all of these sounding? I've got one more, but how are all of these sounding so far?
Almost all impossible.
Okay. Hey, but you can't say anything is possible. You know,
okay.
you never know. It rained meat.
Plausible.
Anything is plausible at this point, okay? Now, they're all kind of ridiculous, okay, except one.
Mm-hmm.
And it's the most accepted theory to this day. Vultures.
Yo, that. Damn.
Okay, so the vulture theory actually came up in 1876. There's a doctor named L.D. Castenbein, and he examined one of the samples and wrote about the case in the Louisville.
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 Louisville. Okay, you'll love there's a building in Louisville that has all those different ways that you just said it.
Oh, that's cute. Okay. So he wrote about this case in the Louisville Medical
good.
News.
That was
Thank you.
good.
Thank you. And according to him, the most plausible explanation was that a flock of vultures had been flying high above the Crouch's farm and basically threw up.
Oh, I didn't even think about them throwing up.
Which sounds like I'm making that up. Okay.
No, like that.
No, I thought in the
sounds
minute, I'm like,
legit.
the fuck you mean they throw up? What do you mean so you're telling me like birds out here could just throw up? You know, like
Yeah.
while they're flying? I know, but that's something I never thought about until
You're
I started
telling me
learning
you've
about
never been
vultures.
walking, and then all of a sudden you're like, oh, and like throw up.
Oh, yes, but I never thought
the
of it
same
like
thing.
that for them.
They're an animal.
I know, like where would they stop if they're flying?
You
Nowhere.
just glide, baby.
Gliding. Yeah, no. Okay, so but still, I was like, what? I didn't know that they.
That's crazy.
I don't know. I just didn't think of
Okay.
that. Okay, so
Makes sense.
we're gonna break this theory down, okay? Because I learned a lot about vultures, guys.
Damn.
Okay, so according to him, it's the most plausible explanation, okay? But what I find funny though is that all these theories, like I can't believe this actually really happened because everything that we're talking about, it just sounds like I'm making it up, but I'm not. You get what I'm saying? Like I started
Mhm.
off with like, what would you do if
Sure.
meat fell from the sky? And you're like, sure, whatever. But apparently vultures vomiting is a very real thing. Turkey vultures and black vultures both live in Kentucky, and they regurgitate food as a normal behavior for them. Sometimes they actually use it as a defense mechanism. Yes. So they'll vomit if they're ever like threatened or startled, which from what I was reading, I mean, a part of me was like, ew, I mean, yeah, if I was a predator.
I was gonna say I'd hate
know?
being the animal that's like,
yeah, like, ugh.
like every other
forget
animal's
it.
got a cool way to defend themselves, and then you're just over here. God was like, you can throw up,
You know what?
and it's like
Puke. Projectile vomit.
lions coming at you, and you're like, oh yeah, you're gonna give me.
Yeah.
Lion, if I was a lion, I'd be like, that was disgusting. Why
I'd be
would you even
like,
do that?
Never mind. Well, I read it was that like the defense mechanism. Also, if they end up puking, that then it would give the predator something to eat instead of you. I know. I was like, I'm like, what a
Oh,
day to
God.
be human, because I could not be a turkey vulture or a vulture in general. I'd probably be like,
Oh man. You know what sounds better
My
than
husband
this?
said he'll get me something else.
You know what
Thanks.
sounds better than this fresh bird that's alive and flying right in front of me and has fresh meat? The throw up that bird just gave me.
It's just so icky.
That's
It's
what
so
I'm gonna bring
icky.
home to my family.
Yeah. No, and also imagine you're driving and like a vulture just pukes roadkill on your windshield.
Oh
like,
God.
I'd be like, thank God I learned about this story, because if that happened to me while I was driving, I'd be like, you're not even going to believe what I just saw.
I mean, I have seen fish in Florida been dropped from the sky by pelicans and
that
like,
I've seen.
Yeah. And that's
but thinking
terrifying.
about like projectile vomit everywhere.
Yeah, I
it's
think
like,
I would rather
I'd rather
a
a fish for sure, 100%. If we're up to
If we can
selecting,
choose.
yeah, we're selecting. That'd be great. Okay, so they also regurgitate food to feed their babies, duh, because that's
Yeah,
what freaking
makes
birds
sense.
do, right? That's the only thing I ever thought about them doing with regurgitating. But this isn't some bizarre behavior scientists like invented just to make the Kentucky meat shower make sense, because they actually do really throw up their food. Because immediately when I read this theory, I went on like
thought it was
Google
fake.
mode. I was like, what? I need to learn about vultures. That's a little interesting, because they're scavengers. So the one thing about vultures is that the food that they eat can include large pieces of meat from different parts of an animal.
Mm-hmm.
So interesting. Remember, they did say that it looked like it was different pieces,
Some
different
pieces,
sizes,
different
all this
areas.
stuff, right? Another thing that I learned about vultures is, you know how they've got the bald head?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. But everywhere else is like feathery.
Yeah.
Okay. So do you know why they have bald heads? I'm
No
going to tell you
idea.
right now. Fun fact, Ale. Switching it up on you. Well, they have bald heads so that they can keep clean when they are eating, because that's their diet, dead animals, carcasses. So they keep it clean. So you don't get food in your hair.
It's like a damn surgeon. Like a doctor scrubbing in to go eat.
No, it's literally that. And I also saw, because I saw a photo of a vulture like up close, because again I was like reading vulture articles, and they've got this like hole in their nostril. It literally is just like an open gaping hole like this.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, dude, it looks like a keychain. Okay, I ain't gonna lie. Like, it looks like you could put a little nose ring on that. And so I was learning that they actually have the nostrils there, and this cover part is just to protect from food getting in their nose.
I gotta say, science, like biology
I
in
know,
itself,
isn't that fascinating?
is crazy, especially if you look back, and this complete quick sidetrack. When you look back at animals and how they've evolved
Oh my
just
God.
to survive in
Yes.
areas that they are in
And how they
environments,
adapt. Yeah, from
it's
different
so
changes.
cool.
I know, it is really fascinating. Like, the evolution of things
So
is
that's
fascinating. Yeah.
interesting.
And I will say, the one thing too that another thing that I learned about the vultures is that since they eat dead animals, some animals obviously are carrying different diseases and bacteria and things that can either harm other animals or harm us or harm the environment or whatever the case is. Now, the the vulture stomach is made of like some insane acid that everything they eat, no matter if it's like diseased or whatever it is, I mean, they eat literally roadkill. Like, they eat dead animals. No matter what they eat, it actually burns off and kills all that bacteria.
Damn.
So in reality, they actually stop bacteria and diseases from progressing. So we do need them in the ecosystem, that's what's crazy to me. You know what I'm saying? Like, when you learn about one animal and then you see like it's a circle of life, everybody has a purpose.
Yeah, that's wild.
Isn't that crazy?
All right.
Okay,
Anyways.
so
That makes sense.
that makes sense. So
This sounds legit, though.
yeah, so the theory is that a group of vultures had recently eaten. They were flying high above the farm. Something startled them, and several of them projectile vomit. Okay, whatever they had in their stomach. So from that high up, the pieces could have been separated and spread out, that it would probably have,
Yeah.
hit the
Everywhere.
property and all that. And with this theory, a lot of the weird details of the stories, the different sizes, the muscle, the cartilage, the lung tissue.
Makes sense.
Yeah, and also remember, Rebecca reported that it was like fresh flesh. Like, it looked fresh.
Which also
Makes sense. So this theory also gives more meat, pun intended, about how the mystery meat could have fallen from the sky. I know. I like to throw a little bit of some, and then the sky was clear that
All
day.
right. Well, makes sense.
Okay, so you like the vulture theory?
I'm laying top top choice.
Vulture theory. Okay. Well, the doctor that gave the vulture theory, Dr. Castenbein, he even argued that the different types of tissue found in the samples actually would support the vulture theory, because if you're looking at partially digested pieces from whatever these birds had been eating, you wouldn't exactly have every sample to be the exact same kind of tissue. So did Kentucky actually experience a mysterious rain of meat? Maybe.
I mean, one could say.
One could say. But the best explanation of it right now could have just been that Rebecca Crouch happened to be standing underneath a flock of vultures that just so happened to have been projectile vomiting.
Damn, that means her poor soap
Her soap, I
has
know.
projectile vomit in it.
So that's the most solid theory. So, okay, when I was researching this and then we got to the vulture theory, because every other theory too, I was like, it's got some weight to it. I also never want to be one to just like toss out an alien theory, because we really don't know, right? We really don't know.
Again, Tom was right.
Tom was right. So we really don't know. But one of the questions that I had to that vulture theory, I immediately thought, so how many vultures are we talking about here? Because a whole football field.
Yeah, that's a lot of vultures.
So, and I'm also like,
That's
that's
a lot of vomit.
That's a lot of vomit. Also, like, do they even fly like that together?
I don't think so. I don't think I've ever really seen turkey vultures like fly together until they all land in the same place.
Well, I actually looked it
But
up.
then they chase each other. Okay, hit it.
Oh, okay, yeah. Which I also learned that they don't have voice boxes, so they can like hiss and like, but they don't really say much. They probably
Anyways.
just like, oh, sorry. I learned a lot about vultures, by the way.
She's like, they just don't talk.
They just don't talk. They're more like
Makes
hissers,
sense.
all that stuff. But anyways, so I did look it up, and vultures actually can gather in pretty large groups. I saw that turkey vulture roosts can contain dozens or even hundreds of birds in a flock, which they call kettles.
Okay, well, makes sense.
Yeah, and when they migrate, when they're doing the migrating groups, the numbers can range into the thousands. So I'm like,
Damn.
okay,
Okay.
right, yeah. So having a lot of vultures together,
things are adding up.
yeah, isn't necessarily unusual, to be quite honest. But we still don't know to this day how many vultures would have been needed to create the Kentucky meat shower, because nobody at the time obviously recorded how much meat fell. So we don't really.
approximately a quarter inch of meat that fell that day.
Right. No, literally, exactly. It's gonna rain this Thursday. Meat. Get ready to sink your teeth into something. Oh God, I'm getting a little. Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry. So at this point, the vulture theory is the only one that makes the most amount of sense. Okay, but here's what makes this story even better.
Oh, it gets
Okay.
better.
Yes, it's 2026.
All right, hit it.
This happened 150 years ago. Okay, there is still a piece of that mystery meat till this day,
Of course there is.
preserved
I'm sorry.
in a jar.
No offense. I love me my Midwest people. I was born and raised a Midwest person. If there's one thing we're good at, it's taking one tiny ass little thing and being like, we're never going to forget about this.
Oh, I'll be
And
honest
we're
with
going to make a
you.
whole thing around this.
And they did.
Of course they did. What'd they do? Hit it.
All right, so there is a sample believed to have come from the 1876 meat shower. It's preserved in this very small glass jar. It's actually not that small, but whatever. It's a fucking glass jar. Jesus Christ, my anxiety's like.
that looks
we
pretty
should probably
small.
say exactly how big it is.
Oh, Lord.
I know, ridiculous. But anyways, I'll post a photo here in the YouTube, and also I'll post photos on socials like usual, okay? So it's actually kept at the Transylvania University in Kentucky. So naturally, my first thought when I saw that they have a preserved piece of mystery meat is, well, then why don't we dang test it, DNA test it today? Why don't we?
They probably did, didn't they?
They sure did. They sure did.
Okay.
Sorry.
Bring it
Yeah.
back.
I gotta bring it back. My bad. They sure did. Okay. Researchers at the university ran the sample through a gene sequencer. Okay. The problem was that the DNA, though, is too old and degraded, that the DNA strands weren't long enough to give a definitive answer. So they couldn't say, yeah, this came from this exact animal, but they did get a close match, and it was to a goat.
Oh.
To a goat. Bah. Bah.
I love you.
Which makes the vulture theory even more so. They would probably eat.
Yeah, that makes sense. Again,
And this is also one small
it's-
sample piece.
it's all adding up.
It's adding up to the
All right.
vulture theory, yes.
So I'm just going to say it. Case closed. Vultures.
Tom's
Done.
like,
Thank you.
Yeah. That's the most, accepted theory. But unless somebody invents like a time machine and goes back to March 3rd of 1876, the Kentucky meat shower is probably always going to have that little bit of mystery left. Okay. Now it's 2026, 150 years later, right? Bath County has fully embraced the story.
Okay.
Like you said, run with it. Now, I'm sure you can probably agree and attest that this is probably one of the weirdest things in American history that has happened. For sure.
1,000%.
So they're fully embracing this story. The Kentucky meat shower became part of local folklore. People who grew up in Bath County, Kentucky, have talked about hearing the story from their parents, from their grandparents, and even learning about it as part of local history in school.
Yeah, great-grandpappy, he was there when the meat was falling from the sky.
He knew Rebecca. He knew her.
He bought soap from her.
And she was a pretty gal.
Oh, Lord. Okay.
Okay, so this story has been passed down for generations. I also saw that there were some descendants of the Crouch family, and it's literally a family story that's been from
Just
the
passed
minute it
down
happened.
generation to
It's like,
generation.
yeah, exactly. So as for Rebecca and Alan Crouch themselves, they apparently believe that what happened that day could have just been a sign from God. Okay, which I was looking, and it doesn't seem that the mystery meat shower was interpreted like as a big curse, any superstition. Like everybody sees it as like a positive thing.
Okay.
And it's more like one of those stories that became a huge part of the identity of the area. Recently, Bath County decided, you know what? Why don't we celebrate it?
Of course they did.
Why don't we celebrate it? So in 2025, they held a Kentucky Meat Shower Festival for the 149th anniversary, and nearly 500 people showed up.
There's nothing more Midwest
I
than
love
a
it. I love this
good
so much.
old meat shower
I
festival.
so badly want to go to next year's Meat Shower Festival, like so bad. So for the 150th anniversary in 2026, they went even bigger. Okay.
Oh, God.
There were vendors. There was a mystery meat chili cook-off. There was meat-themed games. There was I read they included a meatball toss and literally threw slices of bologna like Frisbees. Okay. Meat shower, baby. And I also love, do you see the, what is it? The flyer and the advertisement?
Oh, yes. I love that.
Yeah. Isn't that so cute? I thought that was so cute.
I also love the 4 p.m. 100% meat showers.
I know when you said about the guys, I'm going to show you a photo here. They actually had it in the weather. Like it's going to rain meat that day. So when Tom was saying it's
Love
like the forecast, I was dying because I'm like, oh my God, I can't tell him yet. So they also had a whole showcase in the Bath County Museum showing all the history they had. They also displayed the preserved pieces believed to be from the original meat shower. Okay. People traveled from around the country to see this, which I would too, because I definitely want to go to next year's, okay? There were even descendants of Rebecca's Crouch's family at the festival, but the crazier part is that when they celebrated this year at the Meat Shower Festival for the 150th anniversary, it actually rained meat again.
You're fucking lying.
No, I swear to
You're
God.
lying.
At the end of the festival, hundreds of people gathered near a field, and a Cessna flew overhead. And out the plane came 1,876 individually wrapped pieces of beef jerky.
This, for all my city folks,
I love this.
this is some Midwest type shit.
Next year when we go, because I'm going to force us to go, I'm going to be like, let it rain meat on me.
I swear.
It's raining meat. Hallelujah. It's raining meat. Oh, yeah. I'm going to have so many meat puns. It's going to be so bad.
Oh,
Anyways,
man.
I thought that 1,876 was pieces of beef jerky was like a specific number. But the reason why they did that is it was in honor of the year that it happened, 1876. So that's why they did that many numbers of meat or beef jerky or whatnot. So you can technically say now that meat has fallen twice in Bath County. Okay. Twice. And there's actually what is it? I think I added it into I did. There's a link. Someone actually uploaded a video of the meat shower, like when it was when it happened. Check it out. And that's that photo. That's the photo of the meat, of the beef jerky that they individually wrapped.
Oh, God.
I know.
love this.
I know, right? So it's fallen meat. It's rained meat over there once in 1876. And now once again in 2026, okay? And honestly, I very much love that. Very much love that, okay? They were doing interviews there at the festival. Some local residents have believed that it could be aliens. They thought that it was animals that exploded.
Aliens were abducting the animals.
Oh my God,
and
actually,
then they
good
got
point.
Exploded.
Why is that? And that's always the picture that you see of aliens.
Chicken Little.
Yeah,
The
aliens
sky is
taking
falling.
cows and everything. Yep,
Sky
very true.
ain't falling. It's meat falling.
Meat falling. When the meat falls, let it crumble.
Oh, I didn't know what song you were going with, and then
It was
clicked.
a James Bond. Yeah, sorry. But anyways, there was another theory going around that Olympia Springs Hotel, it was like this wellness spa. They actually said that it didn't happen. They just used it to promote like new business opening, but everybody believes it happened because it's like something fun to also, it's like a folklore. It's a part of the
If this was a marketing
area.
scam, a great one at that.
Great one
if
at
it
that, I
was,
know, I
If it
know.
was. You guys
That'd
deserve
be
to be
great.
an ad age.
Mm-hmm. So
ad
true.
age 1886.
Oh my God. Well, if the New York Times is out, why the fuck not? Jesus Christ. Well, that is today's strange episode, friends. I hope you enjoyed it.
That
It was a nice break.
was wonderful. I gotta say, I can't wait to hear what people think of this episode.
They're going to be like, meat shower, you say? I know. I don't think anybody's going to believe me
Everyone's
when I
gonna
say
think
it.
it's clickbait.
They are. Wait till I do the thumbnail on YouTube because I'm going to have us like, and there's like meat raining. Wait, there you go. Pose. Perfect. Oh, you opened your mouth. You're so funny.
I was
You
catching
cracked
it like a snowflake.
Like a snowflake. Fat ass snowflake, though.
Yo,
It's meat, dude.
I thought you were calling me a fat ass. I was like, damn.
No, I would never. What the hell? But anyways, I thought that was really funny. When I learned about it, I was just like, what? This is so strange. This is unusual. It's also very out of left field. There's usually
I mean,
something that you would only see in
You know
movies or
what?
cartoons.
Tom Jones said it best. It's not unusual.
To be loved by anyone. Very true. Thank you for joining us today on Macabre Mondays. Don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss a single episode. We're also on YouTube, so please, if you want to go act like we're hanging out with you in the same room, let us know. You can find us wherever you listen to podcasts. And if you know more about today's episode or caught a detail we might have missed, let us know. I'm not a robot.
If you have a story that's strange, sinister, or downright spooky, doesn't matter how small you may think it is, send it our way. You can email us at macabremondays@gmail.com or head over to macabremondays.com and submit your story. Yours just might be featured in an upcoming listener episode.
Follow us on social media by searching Macabre Mondays for photos of today's episode, updates, and a little extra spooky fun. We'll see you next Monday for another sinister, strange, and spooky episode. But until then, more mysteries just around the corner. Stay spooky, stay curious,
And keep your umbrellas open to stay safe from the meat.
and stay safe. Bye.
See ya.